Alright, so before we dive into the third and final major buy round, we do have some reviewing to do of the round that was round 18. As far as our tips go, we did go 7 from 8. A nice little bounce back. The game that we missed was the Sharks game, with the Titans beating them 20 points to 16. We had 2 perfect matches, the seemingly locks of the round, and that was the Panthers grinding out the Broncos at home, Brian To'o to cross the line, and the Chooks with a comfortable win over the Dragons at Allianz in a Jared Waerea-Hargreaves milestone match. He becomes the most capped Rooster, and how sick was that jersey? That golden number 8 looked so clean. We also had a couple of golden point matches, which was fire, the Doggies scraping past the Roosters, and Manly getting over the Cowboys at home, thanks to an absolute Chad Townsend disaster class. Only the 5 matches to check out this week, so let's get to it and make some picks. So we kick off round 19, Thursday night at KO Stadium, the Finns hosting the Bunnies. A few big outs for both sides, starting with the home side here with outs, Felix Kaufusi, Marshall King due to an injury, and of course Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow in camp with the Maroons. So they have Trey Fuller at fullback, filling in for Marshall King at hooker. They got Max Platt, so Kenny Bromwich moves to lock. David Tapangai Jr. fills in at prop, or starts at prop for Felix Kaufusi, and the new faces on the bench, Josh Kerr, Ray Stone, and Sean O'Sullivan. For the Bunnies, they'll be without Latrell Mitchell and Cam Murray, so rookie Dry Gray will be back at fullback, and starting in the back row for Cam Murray, Michael Chi Cam, Keon still in the 13. On the bench, they've got Peter Momozelis and Liam LeBlanc. As for our pick, it is a pretty tough game. On paper, do you like the Finns at home? Or do you favour momentum and back the red hot Bunnies here without Cam Murray and Latrell Mitchell? We will be back in momentum. We'll be jumping on the Bunnies here, currently 5 from their last 5. The Finns on a bit of a downward spiral, winning only 1 from their previous 5. Plus they're without some key figures in Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, Marshall King around the ruck. They still have that gun spine, those vets in Walker, Whiten and Damien Cook, and Keon at 13 has been an absolute animal, leading in the middle. So yeah, I do like the Bunnies. I think the Finns will keep it a close contest. So give me the Bunnies 1 to 12. And to bag us some meat pie, we will be looking towards the right side of the field and we'll take Jacob Gagai on the sting. In the second match of the round, we head over to Sydney here at PointsBet Stadium with the Sharks hosting the Tigers. Some huge outs for the Sharkies here. As we look at the list, they'll be without Jack Williams, Nico Hines, and Siosifa Talakai. So Braden Trindle moves into the 7. Atkinson moves from the wing to the 6 as they welcome back Sionek Ator on the wing. Teague Wilton gets the start in the back row, and on the bench they've got Jesse Calhoun, and I believe Toby Rudolph is another new face. Looking over at the side of the West Tigers here, on the outs they've got Justin Olam and Solomon Alaimalo. So without Olam, they've got Alexander Lobb jumping back onto the wing, with Fa'ata'ape moving back into the centres. Ruben Porter is the new face on the bench, with Matamua dropping to 18th man. As for our pick in this match, this is a round 4 rematch, a round 3 rematch, sorry, where the Sharks did get dusted 32 points to 6. Coming into this game, the home side now on a 3-game losing streak. As for the worst team in the league currently, the Tigers, they're coming into this riding back-to-back losses. They do have 2 wins out of their previous 5 in comparison to the Sharkies 1. So these past few weeks I've been backing a Sharks bounce back and more so a Nico bounce back, and that just hasn't happened now with Nico out of the side. They do have a fit Trindle in the 7 with Atkinson, who has looked pretty dangerous at 6. So I actually like this halves pairing. I mean, it's hard to look past the Sharkies. They have a powerful pack and a strong back line. At home as well, not like it's been a fortress for them, but coming up against the worst team in the league, if ever there was a bounce back, now's the time. So we're going to stick with them again, and we'll back them in to go big here. Give me the Sharks at home, 13+. And to bag us some meat pie, we're going to jump on our boy Tom Hazelton, who has saluted for us a couple of times in the past. He does come off the pine now and is on a dry streak, so it is a little more risky. In the third game of the round, the first of 2 for Super Saturday, with a couple more bottom of the table teams facing off, with the 15th placed Titans taking on the 16th placed Parramatta Eels. Looking at the ins and outs, it is raining ins for the Titans here as they get back AJ Brimson, although he is 18th man, as well as Isaac Fa'asu Malayawi in the reserves. Actually joining the 17, they have Jaden Campbell, Cleese Haas, and Philip Sami. Sami will be on the bench in the 17, Campbell back in the 6, and Haas in the back row. It'll be interesting to see what this final squad looks like come game day, because there does seem to be a bit of shuffling that will need to happen to get AJ Brimson back on the side. Looking at Parramatta on the outs list, they'll be without Junior Paulo, Mitchell Moses and Sean Russell. Jumping into the 7, they've got Deja Anasi. Moving into the centres for Sean Russell, they've got Blaze Talangi moving infield, and Lorenzo Mulitalo makes his debut. Charlie Gama gets the start in the 13, and joining the bench they've got Matt Dory, Sean Lane and Luca Moretti. As for our pick, we are going to keep it short and sweet with this one. The Titans have looked super impressive with their grit these past couple of weeks, coming off back-to-back wins, something you don't really see with the Titans as of late. I think there'll be way too much for the Eels to handle at home especially. I think they put on a show for their home side. Campbell back in the halves will be hard to handle. I'm assuming Brimo will be playing, seeing as he is 18th man. And yeah, there's not much else to say. Parramatta on a 4-game losing streak. Looking at their previous meetings, history does say that they have super close matches, so maybe 13 plus is in the play. We'll be ignoring that though. Titans with all the momentum. Give me Titans 13 plus. And to score a try, we'll go with the returning Jaden Campbell up against Deja Anasi. I'm liking anyone from that left side to be honest, but yeah, we'll take Jaden and keep it pushing. And headlining Super Saturday, we have the Broncos hosting the Dragons at Suncorp Stadium. Some huge outs for both teams, starting with the Broncos here. No Paddy Carrigan, Haas, Walsh and Cobbo of course. And they'll also be without Jock Madden, who was injured. Looking at the side, they got Tristan Saylor at fullback, Staggs back on deck in the centres, Mariner also in the centres, with Corey Oates on the sting. Jumping in the 7 jersey, they have Josh Rogers. Xavier Willison gets the start. They get Jordan Ricky back in the back row with Tyson Smoothie to play in the 13. On the bench, they got Blake Moser, Kobe Hetherington, Josiah Karapani and Martin Taupa'u. Looking at the Dragons, they're without Hunt, Laurie and Zach Lomax. So joining their 17, they welcome back Mika Ele Ravalawa. He'll be on Lomax's wing, filling in for Ben Hunt at 7. They've got Jesse Marshke. Vitala Mariners back on there, pushing Leilua to the bench, and Hamesele looks like the other new face on the bench. They also have Jack Bird here in the 18th man. As for our pick, it's looking like a must-win game now for the damn Broncos, man. That is the only reason we'll be taking them this week. We're going to keep it short and sweet. It's going to be such a tough game because the Dragons, you don't know what you're going to get. Some weeks they look like world beaters and others they look like the worst team in the league. But yeah, looking at their form guide heading into this, the Bronx, just L's across the board. You hate to see 0 from their previous 5. The fall off has been a painful watch. Looking at the Dragons, they've won 3 from their previous 5. So yeah, backs against the wall stuff, probably not the smartest thing to do, but I will be taking the Bronx. Straight bias, I'm telling you here and now. And to score a try, we're going to look infield here. We're going to take Xavier Willison, who, speaking of bounce backs, is due for one after last week's performance. And in the 5th and final match of the round, the Sea Eagles host the Knights at 4 Points Park. Looking at the ins and outs, starting with Manly, no Ben Chaboyevich, no Daly Cherry Evans, no Jakey, and no Dolotau Gola. After coming off a pretty decent performance at fullback, he has now been sidelined with an injury. So, donning the 1 jersey yet again, Tom Chaboyevich as their new / old fullback. Tommy Talau will be moving into left centre, it looks like, with Lehi Hopoate on the wing. Their new halves pairing, Luke Brooks and Jamie Humphries. Kyle Lawton starts at left edge for Ben Chaboyevich, and starting in the 13 for Nathan Brown. Their interchange consists of Clayton Fa'ulalo and Gordon Chan-Kum-Tung, looking like the new faces for the Knights. With no KP, Fletcher Sharp jumps into fullback, and a few new faces in the back line with Thomas Kant in the centres, as well as Dylan Lucas, who's been excellent wherever he plays. He's their other centre with Christian Mapapalangi, the new face on the wing for Inari Tuala. So yeah, just to reiterate, no Bradman Best, no Dan Gagai, no Inari Tuala, and no KP. As for our pick in this game, I'll be taking Manly at 4 Pines Park. I do see more points with their backline in particular, and Newey just do not like playing at 4 Pines Park. They have won only 4 games out of 23 played at the venue. So yeah, like the previous 2, we're going to keep it short and sweet. Give us Manly at home, and to bag us a meat pie, we are going to jump on Ruben Garrick. That about wraps up our tips and predictions for this 3rd and final major buy round. As always boys, if you have any tips and predictions of your own, let us know in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to run and share that like button for more rugby league related content or more content in general. Go ahead and drop your boy a cheeky sub. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you later.